are now about to witness the awesome crushing might of the Eugene S. Robinson show Stomper. Welcome, my friends, to a show that seemingly never ends. Eugene S. Robinson, show Stomper. I'm your host, Eugene S. Robinson. This is version 350. 350 of the Eugene S. Robinson show Stomper. On a slow news week, that's slow for everybody else. For us, it's apropos of every king. Every king. We're going to talk about the inroads by which convicted rapist McGregor tried to work himself back into the good graces, and the aiding and abetting done by the overseer, the bald one. Now he's in the right hand man, right hand pocket. As well as the thing with rabies and NYHC. Listen well, but first, that's why you see this in.
I'm on my way back to nowhere. I took my time with a good night.
Still available from Revelation Records. I'm taking a real good look at you. I'm taking a real good look at your face.
I'm on my way back to damn bar.
So keep it back for always. Nothing. Still available from Revelation Records. Just because I'm slow on the take doesn't mean anything. Still available from Revelation Records. Here we are in Huntington Beach, California, where they shoot you to death in a nightclub. They hit your car with a hammer, and you run your mayor pro tem out of town on a rail to open up a substandard restaurant in Central Florida. This is version 350 of the Eugene S. Robinson Show Stomper. Welcome, my friends, to a show that never ends, seemingly never ends. Commercial-wise, once again, TM is on the money. I didn't mention it last show. I'll mention it this show, especially since we got 5 more days before I got to cut June another check. That's right. It's approximately $100 a week. And at this point, some of you have paid. You got the Substack thing. So it comes every month. $5 here, $5 there. I'm not talking hard time. TM gives more than that. Over aggregate, Tommy Pounds gave way more than that. But those of you freeloaders, that's all right. Enjoy it. Enjoy it for free. You get what you pay for. What I got to do is have some staggered viewership so that those who actually pay get something. I was calling you, remember, on the old days when it was on that other one, not what was that other site called? Before we switched over to a Substack. What was that? Something, I can't even remember what it was called, the other one. And one of the gifts I gave for the upper level was I would call you once a month or when you least expected it at home. And JW's there. Hey, yeah, I did get that. That's got nothing to do with nothing. I need that money. Don't you understand what I'm saying? Enterprise. Hey, I need the money. I still got to pay. I don't feel good about writing the check. Zero? Is it nothing from another? Guys asked me, I'm doing a project with a band called Soul Glow, a neo-hardcore band that's, I think, on a big label, and, black punk rockers. So they sought me out. I'm glad to do it. Soul Glow. Didn't like the name, but I listened to music. I liked them. And I said those magic words, you guys got a budget for this? They're like, yeah, we got a budget. I was like, okay. because nothing from nothing leaves nothing. If they were to offer me $5, I would take it because it shows me that they think there is some value to what I'm going to contribute. But zero means you think there's going to be no value to what I contribute. So yeah, I'm glad to hear that they are legit. That's cool. I'm excited about it. So anyway, let's get in. Let's see. We did the commercial, prepare for the show. All right. Well, let's do a little history because we always do that, a rundown of what just happened this past week, and it's apropos of an intro. All right. Because there've been twin engines driving this week, and you know, I was about to go with Tittygate. I really was about to go with Tittygate. Started the week with Tittygate. That is the inauguration of Donald Trump, second term as president, and Mark Zuckerberg was caught peeking at the titties, the fake titties of the second or third richest man in the world's wife's. Well, looking at her titties. I can't say titties of cleavage, a cleavage of titties. You know what I mean? Looking down Lorene Sanchez Bezos's, and of course, depending on who you were, people were like, oh, well, what do you expect? She wore lingerie to the, you know what? I'm so grossed out by this fucking plastic surgery stuff that I'm just like, man. Now I admit that I have a weakness for titties. But my weakness is not along typical American tropes. I'm not a size queen. I just like them. No matter what the size. Big, small, I don't care. And yes, I have been known. I made a lifelong friend in algebra where the teacher, Lynette Gannam, bent over. Oh, yeah, she's my friend, Samantha 38G. She bent over to grade our papers, and me and he's a big executive now. I know I don't need to mention his name. We both looked down, and then we looked around to see who was looking, and he was looking at me, I was looking at him, and we both kind of went, what can we do? As an older man now, what that's done is, first of all, I've always dug older women. I don't care if the woman is 80 years old. I've had 80-year-old women bend down at the grocery store to get something, and I got to use the roving eye technique, which is usually a technique to get into an Ivy League school when you're taking SATs. But this comes in handy for lots of other reasons. So I don't give Zuckerberg. I don't give him a hard time for this. What I give him a hard time for is not knowing for a minute in time that you should always assume you're being watched. Now, I've told you a story. You can't Donna Shalala me on my own show about that dog I had to shoot to death, and then I had to bury the dog. And I said, well, I'm not going to bury the dog. This is not the movies. I don't have time to be digging a hole. I want to put the dog in a dumpster and let the garbage gods do what they would with it. And so I go a far out of way dumpster, and it's late. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And as I'm lifting the body up over the edge of the dumpster, I see a flash of light. It turns out there's this guy standing there just looking at me, and the light is shining off of his glasses. Shining off his glasses. The guy just happened to be there. You always have to act. And in this society, increasingly, so what do they call it? There was a great article about surveillance society. They caught this kid, Luigi, on the bike. The reason they caught him, the only reason they caught him is because he took his mask off at the hostel where he was staying. What's the hostel need a fucking camera for? Their cameras in the streets. Their cameras on people's doorbells. Their Nest cameras. Their cameras in the car. Did you walk by a Tesla? You think this is not okay? I know it sounded crazy. I know it, and I know the Trump administration has just said they're going to release the JFK files, the MLK files, the RFK files. It seems like I'm having fewer reasons to hate this guy. I don't think he did it either. How about that? there were other people who had a lot more to gain from it than a guy with back problems, but that's neither here nor there. My point is, that's the only thing I want to give Zuckerberg. That's the only thing I want to give him a hard time for. Because then he's kind of we had a saying in journalism, don't apologize, don't explain. So he's explaining, I guess, by proxy for his wife. And so I asked a guy I know who's like his number 2 guy, does the wife really care? He goes, no, she doesn't care. Somebody else said, of course she cares. What do you mean she cares? They've been together since college. Where she cares? No, she cares about the public. And then I find it hard to think that people who are in that position care about the public. And then I remember interviewing Halle Berry, and she was all bent out of shape over the car accident she got into. And I so badly that I broke journalistic convention and said, the fuck do you care? What do you care? You got a new offender better. You know how many people get in offender betters every day? And you left the scene. Well, okay, maybe it turns out it might affect her ability to get another movie job because Hollywood gets weird that way, I guess. Lydia, yes, but I haven't seen them. I mean, outside of what anybody else would have seen in the movies. Can you believe she and I shared a bed together for the night and I did nothing? I didn't even try. There's a point in my life that I call before I was crazy, Bick, and then after I was crazy, Eck, Biff Eck. After I was crazy, 100%. 86-year-old woman, nobody was safe. But before I was crazy, okay, she's in bed. She says, slept with her clothes on. What am I going to do? Also, yeah, you're right. Enterprise, you're right. I did the math. There was going to be no casual thing between us, right? So, and I always had a girlfriend at the time when I was meeting up with her. And I wasn't really going to dump everything and just follow her around the world to hang out, be the boy Friday. So, it seemed like it made more sense to enjoy the friendship. But let me tell you, I'd be lying if I said I didn't regret it. It's always better to regret those things that you have done than those things that you haven't done. But that's neither here nor there. That's not the point. The point is I was going to do Tittygate. It had everything. It had tits. It had rich guys. Now, keep in mind, I've often said that the guy who pays for the boob job is not the last beneficiary of the boob job. I found it to be the case 100% of the time. I know these guys who are misguided. Ooh, my wife wants to get big titties. I'm going to pay for the big titties. And the expensive ones are good. I mean, the ones that are like $8,000 a titty. The ones that most of you have seen have been the $5,000 a titty ones. Those are not that great. To salute the Nazi salute, take a drink. Yeah, I think we talked about that a little bit. That didn't. I mean, that little fucking titty freak. I'm talking about Musk here. Holds no interest for me. I've always hated him, and in that I'm in step with Steve Bannon. Believe it or not. He's seen to the heart of these Silicon Valley, tech morons, and it's that they have no soul. They destroyed San Francisco. They're going to destroy LA. They destroy everything they fucking touch. I've been in San Francisco, Northern California since 1980, and I watched it turn from a vibrant, aesthetic, artistic, to like some redheaded stepchild of Burning Man, where tech guys can go get their freak on. I fucking hated them the whole time. And that's part of the reason why I hate Silicon Valley. You got to understand, the first time I started working in Silicon Valley, I was working for the second generation of tech guys, and they were out of their fucking minds. The guys that worked at Fairchild, Andy Grove, who I love like a father, guy escaped from the Nazis in Hungary, and who was cab driver in New York. These guys were all on the air. They were great. But the current zombie, they're just zombies, man. I got a lot of friends who work in tech, and usually these are people that are using that tech money to fuel their outside interest. But, you know, if I have another meeting with some guy talking about amortizing the meeting, and we're going to have to think that we're going to monetize the market, fuck the SEO. Oh, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Yeah, I mean, politics is, I think Musk has figured out in an animal way that he can just stay there forever. He can just stay forever in politics without having to, there are no deliverables. See, I'm talking like a tech guy now. There are no deliverables there. But anyway, let's go back to the titties. So it's got titties, it's got rich guys, and, you know, Bezos, he's got Bezos, man. You know, I try not to be, and everybody at jiu-jitsu would now be staring me in the fucking face. I try not to be a cliche. Staring me in the face because, yes, indeed, my wife is younger than me, right? I'm 62, 63 this year. She's, you know, 41, 42. You know, what? That was, you know, it's not like I'm out there trolling for young girls. Just happened to be there. I guess there was not a plethora of 62-year-old women going to Oxbow shows. I don't know what to tell you, but it's not been a thing of mine. But Bezos in a very predictable way, you know, and Bill Gates, and now Bill Gates on this never-ending apology tour. What's my biggest mistake? Oh, the divorce. It was so hard. Well, not hard. It was so horrible. Not horrible, but hard. How long? They got an anniversary. 10th year anniversary coming up this year. 10 years. Eh? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 10 years. So anyway, making us long-term marrieds. My first marriage was like 25 years. So I'm clearly, you know, got a preference for long-term things. Thank you. So Bezos gets with her, and then she's like, you know, do I look fancy enough to be the third richest man? Or what? I mean, keep in mind, he was going down the whole road. He was sending out dick pics like he's never sent out a dick pic before. Act like you've been there before is what I want to say. Her brother got a hold of him, put his dick pics online, and this was just Spanish fly for them. The dick pics, the fake lips, the surgery. Nobody looks at her face anyway, but I look at the face because that's always easily accessible, and it's horrifying to me, the plastic surgery. There are people, you know who's had plastic surgery? You know who's had good plastic surgery? Wait for it. Tom Cruise. This week we did a Bad Boss brief on how to do shit you hate. Looks like we might have another Bad Boss brief event coming up. So if that's your jam, you should pay attention to that. And then next week, this time, I may have a new haircut, and I'm getting my bag packed to go to Milan to play these 4 shows in Italy with Buñuel. This week also, 4 days from now, Buñuel has a big announcement by way of the new music video. You should check it out. I think it's the 30th or the 31st that it goes live. It is dynamite. The song is called Drug Burn. Drug Burn. And if we get to that house in the hills, and what we want is not there, it's going to be heavier and heavier still. So enjoy it. I got some other gossipy things. Sorry, I'm going to save them until Tuesday, maybe. I want to see what develops. But anyway, send that Substack around. Put it in those hardcore music groups. I'm not going to do it myself because I don't want to contribute. But yeah, nah. Buñuel has not in Chien and the Lou, Drug Burn. So not the director, the band. Anyway, thanks for listening. And you know how we end the show, right? Look what you made me do! Don't die, Blondie.